Greetings everyone, I'm Murfiqah and today I'll be doing a commentary about the issues based on chapter 4, 5 and 6 that can be found in the movie called The Ramen Girl. The Ramen Girl movie is about Abby, an American woman who moved to Tokyo to live with her boyfriend but was dumped by him. With a heavy heart and having a boring job, she decides to become a ramen chef and learn under the ramen master Maizumi.
Hi.
もう閉店したんだけどな。
I don't understand. Are you open?
もうラーメン終わり。じゃあ帰って帰って。何つったってんだ。もう終わったんだから帰れっつってんの。
The first issue found in the scene is language barrier. Since Abby was born in America, her first language is English, while Maizumi's first language is Japanese. Because of the differences of their first languages, they did not understand the language of the other party, which led them to use body language. They use body language to understand the message that is being delivered. In this scene, Maizumi pretended to eat ramen and showed the @ sign to indicate to Abby that his restaurant was closed for the day when she asked whether the restaurant was open or not. Since Abby moved to Tokyo in a hurry, she did not have the time to learn the standard Japanese language, which has caused a misunderstanding between her and Maizumi because she started crying after not understanding what he was talking about. In this case, body language is the best option as it can avoid any misunderstandings and overcoming the language barrier that is present in a conversation.
I don't want to leave you.
Then tell them to send somebody else.
That's not how it works in Japan. If the company wants you to go, you have to go.
But how can you spend 3 more years in a job you can't stand? How? Why don't you just tell them to go to hell and do something that you really love, something for yourself?
Moving on to the second issue is how both cultures have their own way of handling a conflict. The American culture is known as a low context culture as they focus more on communicating verbally instead of using body language. The reason is because they want their messages to be received clearly and correctly by the receivers. They tend to be direct in the conversation. In the clip, you can see that Abby directly told Toshi to just tell his company to send another employee to Shanghai. Imagine if Abby was in Toshi's place, she would have directly refused to obey the company's order, which would cause a disharmony in the relationship between both her and the company. But Abby would not have cared about it as long as she can obtain her objective, which is to not go to Shanghai. But for the Japanese culture, they fall under the high context culture as they focus more on body language than communicating verbally. They tend to maintain the harmony of a relationship. In the clip, you can see that Toshi just obeyed the company's order despite not wanting to go to Shanghai. It is considered rude and offensive if you bluntly refuse an order from someone superior than yourself. Usually, Japanese people apologize instead of bluntly refusing if they have a disagreement with their superior. They use expression, posture, and the right tone of voice to draw the actual meaning of a conversation, which can lead to maintaining the harmony of a relationship.
How much?
いいのよ、いいから。ね。
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Then the third issue is personal space. According to a survey to determine the first ranked love language out of the 5 love languages that exist, such as words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, receiving gifts, and physical touch that was conducted by Taylor Orr and Linley Sanders in 2022, physical touch was ranked first by getting a vote of 24% by the Americans. In the clip, we can see that Abby hugged Reiko, Maizumi's wife, as an appreciation for treating her to a bowl of ramen. Since Abby is an American, she does not feel awkward when she physically touches someone, as it is common in the American culture. Needless to say, the Americans are known as contact culture as they frequently touch each other. For example, they frequently do a handshake or giving someone a hug. But it is different for the Japanese people because they may find any sort of skinship as uncomfortable as it is not a big part of their culture. This is known as non-contact culture due to the less frequent of physically touching other people. They will feel that it is strange to suddenly touch someone. For example, some Japanese adults don't even hug their family members due to the strange feeling of it. In the clip, you can see that Reiko made a strange face, including standing still with both of her hands staying beside her and not hugging Abby back.
Alright.
What? I'm sorry, what did you just say?
何土足で上がってんだこの野郎土足じゃねえかお前土足なんだよお前
What?
どこ見てんだほら違うよお前脱げよほらほら
Oh! Sorry.
何やってんだお前何が総理だこの野郎バカ本当にな
Alright. 何どうしたの
いやもうアンポンタンギャルまた来てんだよ
The last issue found in this movie is value conflict that happened between two people who grew up in different household norms. In the clip, you can see that Abby did not bother to take off her shoes before entering Maizumi's house, which has caused him to yell at her in anger. In America, it is the norm to wear shoes inside a house, which is why Americans never remove their shoes before entering their own house or even someone else's house. In addition, they feel more comfortable wearing shoes inside the house rather than not wearing it at all. It is considered rude if they ask someone to remove their shoes before entering a house. For example, if you ask someone in America to remove their shoes before entering your house, they would feel offended since they might think that you bring in dirt or dangerous bacteria into their house. Maizumi yelled at Abby for not removing her shoes before entering his house is due to his upbringing in a Japanese household. One of the factors is that the Japanese people emphasize on hygiene and cleanliness. They usually put their shoes in a small space right after the entrance called a genkan. A genkan is usually a little lower than the main part of the house and the only place where someone can wear their shoes. If you look closely, Maizumi placed his slippers at the genkan before entering his house. Usually, Japanese people often wonder why Western people never remove their shoes as they think the house will get dirty if they walk inside with their shoes on. Another factor is they need a boundary to separate the outside and the inside. You can see that Maizumi removed his slippers after passing through his workplace, which is the kitchen, before going back to sleep. They believe that a home is a place to relax physically and spiritually. So that is why once the shoes are removed, both their feet and mind are released. All from me. Thank you.